Go forward. Encourage each other. Your greatest spiritual leaders in the country, in the world, is in this room. Everybody has a gift. We acknowledge each other's teachings and help that broken person. Our sins are forgiven a long time ago. Our women, the life of our government agencies, our life of the Congress of Teton Nation is based on the mom's love. The man's world, the woman's world. In between, we got some supernatural power of humans that carry both spirits. We aren't a spirit. We try to combine one human, that's a medicine person. You have to honor that and recognize them, that and take good care of them. That was our culture. That was our way of life. Okay. It's a blessing in the Indian village. If we have Wapetokcha people, we always take our children to people that carry two spirits and say, we ask, bless our children, they'll live a long time because you understand the sacredness of women, sacredness of man. We live together. That's our culture. That's who we are. But the permissive society that we inherited, we brought shame. We put our hidden people away. Our medicine people were invisible people. Our two-spirit people were invisible. The women became an auxiliary. But the men sat on the higher throne. We didn't get anywhere. We suffered. So in our teaching, it's the other way around. The we serve. The man represents the eagle. We help each other move. We provide safety, security. The buffalo model of our way of life through the fire. Oyate That was the answer to your question, is that we do these things so that there'll be a lot of elders in the future. Our life, our forgiveness, our happiness, our future is based on the elderly women. But we forgot our grandmas nowadays. We put them in old age homes and we forgot about them. They belong right in the center, like the fire, to give us, cultivate the love of life. That's spirituality. That's wawak kit chaopi. All of you have a gift. Go forward to help people. Don't worry about what people say about you. Just keep moving.
Y'all heard it. You're supposed to take care of me. Y'all heard that, right? Take care of your two-spirit people right here. Right here. So you heard it. I'm teasing.
Shall we have a closing circle and people can simply just say any few words about closing, but we could get all the way around. I think if we did that thoughtfully. I wonder, Mike, if you would start, and that puts Richard.
Oh, yeah. Just thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody, and today is just a blessing, you know. I mean, being outdoors like this, in front of a fire, sitting with some of my favorite human beings, you know, in the world. I really appreciate the day. So I think we've learned a lot. You know, it's really good to hear how things used to be, and our answers aren't in the future; they're in the past. I know that. So yeah, thank you to Lakshi for being such a knowledge base and wisdom keeper for our family and for our people, and just thank you to everybody. Very good day of gratitude for me. Dakuyasi.
We learn new teachings from our ancestral worlds every day. You know, it takes a lot of courage and spiritual power to somebody like my nephew there to come out in the open and be free. You become a teacher. You become a teacher of society. We live by your presence, and we get well by that. You become somebody really important in our life, and it's time to recognize that and tell our people that it's okay to be that way. Some people try to hide it, and they live with sadness, and then they leave the other world. And there's a reason why God made it like that, so that you were brought here by the Creator. And you're following that. You're helping people. You're the greatest social worker ever. Things that we inherit as cultural-oriented people from the ancestors. Even we talk about suicide. Suicide's normal. There's nothing wrong with suicide in our people. A person with lack of knowledge, a lack of education, goes into emotional out of control. They only made a decision with that person and God, where nobody to try to come in between them and stop them. Our ancestors lived by a suicidal life from the beginning of time. We hold that sacred. When somebody takes their life without using substance, without using any kind of chemical, but he made a mental health decision not to be here anymore, that's their business. That's him and God. They go on to the other world. We just pray for God to find that guy's spirit, that person's spirit. Suicide's been always part of our society, but we don't kill ourselves back then. When your life, you inherit a lot of problems and your emotions got out of control and you live in suffering, you take that life and put it on hold for a while. You take on a different life and continue living in this world by serving some other person until your spirit gets better and comes back to you. That was the way of life. The Zoya Oyate, the Akichita, the warriors and Tokalas, when they were picked to serve and protect the persons, that was a suicidal move. Our warriorhood goes back deep, that they say is, I'm like the coyote, I'm like the wolf. And the coyote came to the man and he said, why are you crying? The coyote said that to the man. I am broken, I'm sad, I don't have a life, I'm really suffering. Coyote said, you're not alone, you forgot. You close off your mental capacity and you narrowed your life to one path. That's why you're thinking like that. You're a wichasha. You're a zuya wichasha, chokala. Take my spirit, just think about my world for a while. The coyote's world, he gets up in the morning, he doesn't have breakfast ready. Sometimes he goes on days trying to find to eat. He gets killed along the way. The coyote's life is a lonely but a very spiritual being. He protects us at night, but we don't even know it. He howls to other people and tells them what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. He howls to other coyotes and tells them the people are suffering. The children are in pain. The coyote prays for us. We don't even acknowledge him. So she said, the coyote said to the warrior, take me. When you feel sad, you have a duty. You're a tokala. I'm a tokala, he says. In our language, coyote's a tokala, the fox. Take my hide and put it over your brain or your mind. You have a duty to protect and serve. You die by serving your people. God will take you home to a good world. You spend your lifetime protecting the innocent, the children. That's me, that you're borrowing my life. So the man came back from that lonely world and reestablished Tokala, the warrior society. And he put them onto the duties. And the man's role is to protect the life of the innocent, protect of the people that are Oshika. And your life is no longer your own. You don't have a future. You could die today, you can die tomorrow. But we are destined, the Tokalas, to protect and serve, and that's suicidal. You don't even plan for your tomorrow. Your life is daily at the present moment, protecting the innocent. That's why the Hokalas, when they induct them into the warrior society, people mourn and grieve because that person can never come back to our world. He's out there watching over, all over the people. He dies by doing that. But death is not a being that's alive. Death is a passage that we go through to the other world. So that's what I mean by our saying suicide is normal, because our children that suffer from being in this world, their emotions been altered by substance abuse. If you look back at all the relatives that died from suicide, they got altered by something that made their minds and emotions out of control. They drank, they used drugs, and a failed relationship. They done it under influence, that's why it died like that. If the people come and pray just like what you're doing all the time, the young people are going to follow you. The young people are looking for family and loving. Love is really hard to find nowadays. We misinterpret that. We look at it as something that we belong or somebody belongs to us. In our culture, we misinterpret love for a long period of time. Since 1950s to the present moment, many of our people got exposed to drinking alcohol and doing drugs. So we misinterpret the most important things that give us life and function is love. We think we own somebody when we say love. And we think that we say, I love you, then the woman thinks that that's an open door for sex. And that Chakoja came unplanned. He brought in this world without the sacred laws. Ocha, understanding what we come out here, that love is free. When you understand love, you don't own anything. You come to this world without, and you're going to go back without. That is the concept of love. If you let a bird go by, he'll fly away. But if you love that bird and the bird knows you love it, maybe the bird will come back and visit you. But the experience of having a relationship with a bird that's what love is. You gotta let it go. The tree that grows has many leaves and looks beautiful. But that loving tree, he lets the leaves go at a certain part and they become nothing. That's love. That's a teaching of love. You let go things, be free. It's a meant to be, it'll come back to you. Next following year, the tree will have new leaves again. Love is a wawakhan journey in our people, in our world. Okay? If we restore love in communities and families, you won't see any more suicides. The Western conceptions of suicide is death. But in our world, suicide means that you don't like your life, you can always stop and pick another journey to help other people. But you will still live. And when at times you pick up your own life and come back. That's what I mean by suicide is normal to our people. We don't kill ourselves, but we just dedicate helping other worlds. So that's what you all have to teach people. That's what your duty is. Go help with people. Make them understand what love is. That's all it is. Everybody that died, if you find out why they died, they thought there's nobody going to do it. Had this common fear that we'll never love again or will never be loved again. And that's what drives us into a world of loneliness. Ocha, in indigenous world, love is what people seek for and misunderstand, misinterpret. We always say, my half-side, the Matahashis, we say, call our wives, did you guys ever hear that? What we're really saying, we misinterpret is, we're saying, she's my property. You know, the Christian world really embedded in our lives for a long time, so I said to my wife, I've been married to my wife for 48 years, and so she's from Rosebud, and I said, let me tell you a little. I said, those elderly women said, Hesh now. They really chewed me out. I said, oh, gee, I'm not supposed to say that? It's how you deliver the message is what's important in our life. I should have said, she's my half side, Mahasani. So then I learned an important lesson. I put my ears back and I kind of like went back into my way. So I'll say it better next time, But so, things like how we deliver our message to our people, the big communications is love will always be inside. We were born with love. We learn it from our mothers. That fear is what really held us back. When people, relationships, men and women, got into an argument, kailele each other, that's because they thought that they'll never be able to be loved again. And they said, it's like a card game. You cheated on me. What is cheating, It's not supposed to be that way because there's no understanding between the relationship. When you live together, it's a seed of life. You watch that plant grow. And your journey between the romance turns into a spiritual journey. And then you go on to the world that way. That's why we stayed together for a long time. But where I come from, there's not very many women, so I stayed with my wife for a long time. My wife has raised my children. She did the raising. And all of my children are really happy and good because of my wife. She took care of all of us, and she took care of me. So very thankful that I have a woman that understands spiritual in her own being. Okay, that's what the way we're supposed to be, but I guess it's kind of different nowadays, Go forth and do your work. You're going to do great.
You want a quick farewell comment, closing comment from the full circle?
I just am grateful to be here. Thanks for everybody for being here and all the thoughtful commentary. And Richard.
Okay.
Oh, it was a really beautiful day in this beautiful space. Thank Carrie for this space. Thank Richard for the beauty of this life and on a healing journey every day, and it's always good to have that ray of sunshine, that new knowledge and information. I think this has really been a real powerful circle today. Wopila everybody for being here.
Yeah, honey, where you come from, Rosebud, my mom's from there. His grandma and my mom are sisters. My mom, at her old age, how elders, they like free stuff, Wallaway chop chunks when they go over there, or free giveaway. My mom's the first one in line. I went to eat at a restaurant with her, and she was sitting there eating, and she looked at those signs on the wall of the restaurant, and right away she kind of like tightened her scarf up, and they're giving away free Wi-Fi. So he said, "What's a Wi-Fi?" She wanted to, you got room in your trunk at it. She thought that was something they're giving away. She saw the sign that says free Wi-Fi.
Grateful for all of you. Nothing in my mind right now but the present. I know when I get home I'm going to be trying to convey a lot of what I've gathered here, what I've absorbed. I don't feel like I'm changed, but I feel like I'm restored, like changed back, maybe, unchanged. Yeah, all gratitude.
Our children are so sacred, justice takes care of itself immediately. They always watch over our children. Wakanja. How do you interpret Wakanja in English? It's divine creation, the divine human being. So last year I went with Rosebud Sioux tribe to Carlisle to pick up some remains of some relatives that went to school and died over there. It took their children's influence and the hard work from people to bring the remains back, to heal the people that they left behind. Our children were taken from their homes and they went away and never came back. And they were not able to see their children. They remained over there for hundreds of years and they died with that pain. So yesterday, or last year, or year before, was a very important part for the relatives in Chicago. They returned 9 remains, and I was lucky that I went there, and I took part in that. A little small part, I just prayed, and the bodies that were dug up, there were some little tiny children, bones, and what really stayed in my heart was that, there was an incredible woman working with graves, She's a white woman, she's amazing. She take those bones and put pieces back together and the picture. And so I was sitting there coming from where I come from, it's just taking care of something pretty powerful. There's So I asked her, I said, how do you sleep? She said, I sleep like a baby. But sure, she took that profession from deep in her heart, that she was not afraid, she had a duty. And one of those dolls, young girl, had a cow bone with her. And the people over there couldn't figure out why she had a bone. But it was a girl. And so the research study that we did in the ceremony was that girl, when she went there, she had a doll. She had a little doll with her. She didn't want to part with that because that was what she remembered her parents. That was her people in that little doll. But the school authorities took that doll away. And she was broken. She really sad because she couldn't have the doll. So she wandered in a schoolyard and found a cow bone. So she took that bone and replaced the doll with it. And she played every day with the cow bone. And to her, that was her people, her mom, which she will never see again. Her father, she will never see again. She died of loneliness. She wouldn't eat anymore, so she buried over there. When they dug up the body, the bone was still there. So we took her, we brought her back with the bone, and we buried her with that bone. But it shows that our human race, when you love somebody, a woman especially, when you love somebody, you can't break that. And it always stay with me. When my mother was going to pass away, her last words were, a mother's love never dies. It will always be with you. Which is today, the abusive world that the women live in. They get killed, they're murdered, they're missing. But the earth, Unchimanka, takes care of the women that are missing. And it's showing us that justice has to be done to the women world that are missing. You hear drought and the climate change, people are flooding all over the world. Earth is just telling us that our women have to be restored and live in a safe place. So those people that died over there in Carlisle, they died, but their dreams were never forgotten. They went there with a dream to go to school, to be a productive member of society. The Woi Hambale, the dream that they went with, had never died. Because of the way the sacrifice they made, 100 years later, the Native American people were able to achieve higher education. You got your master's, you're working for the people. That led out all the way to the little children that died in this vein of sacrifices. They want their people to learn education is. 99% of the indigenous population all over the world, they have received their higher education. They got their education. On our reservation, especially Rosebud, a good number of people have their AA degrees. because the university is there. Where they left, there was nothing, those children. But while they were gone, they were able to have an Indian university, Indian schools named after the ancestors. And our children are learning. The dream that was held never died. We are living under somebody's dream. Oi humbly. So it's sad and really broken and angry, but it turned into something good in the modern world today. They died like that because we can receive our education and we have a future. We're the ancestors. It's what we do today is going to impact 100 years from now. What you do today is going to make a difference in the world. Women, you got to rise. There should be an Indigenous Women's Congress in the world, and our world will get better. There's some men needs to come together. And a Two-Spirit society needs to have their own Congress to teach people why they're coming in the world with that wape tokta, wawakha. You're the medicine person. Because you came in the two worlds. What you say to people will affect them for hundreds of years in your daily life. Your words has to be choosing so that it's a healing. Your daily journey is a healing journey, just like the rest of the people, So that's what I learned from that experience about Carlisle Indian School. There'll always be children suffering in the future, but it's what we do with them. That's what's important. We have to overcome the fear of not being loved anymore. We have to live in a sacred world. All right. That's our journey. It's going to get better for us. It's really gotten better without even realizing it. This is paradise now. Many of our people have received education. We got an Indigenous woman in the higher cabinet of President Biden. Someday there'll be a vice president from the Indigenous world. Today, all women, all races are very important. We should learn to take better care of them. We need a treatment program itself only for women to get well, to get better. Another one for men to get better, our children. So we have an idea how all that works now. We have equine therapy. The horses are relatives. Buffalo ceremony, buffalo community. The elk is a spirit of woman. The elk has to revive. Our eagle world, our men, the warriors that are living with pain. How do we take care of them? Our journey is very promising in the future. It's going to get better. It can't get better than that. Now we're sitting with all races and all nations together. That's what the world is going to be a better place. It's not always sad. Thank you. Pilauea.